Because the world is full of ugly people. There's no shortage of ugly people. That's not what we want to see on screen. Oh, I almost feel like doing another Brie Larson video because, whoa, fans of Brie Larson are freaking insane. They just have this copy-paste stuff already prepared, and they just copy-paste it into every response, even if it's not related to it whatsoever. It's like they're just weird single cat lady energy. Okay, so it turns out that apathy is our greatest strength, not outrage. Some ugly chick is in a movie. Nobody really cares. They see the cast and they're instantly checked out. It's like a switch is flicked. Some chubby girl with A cups, and by chubby I mean like for ordinary life she'd be lean and good looking, but for Hollywood she's got like 10 pounds of fat that she needs to lose. And she's got A cups, and which is fine in ordinary life, but you know you're playing the hot chick role. There are better looking chicks on YouTube. I'm not going to name any, but I mean there are better looking chicks you see every day in your ordinary life, like some soccer mom who's hasn't touched a carb in 20 years and is just, you know, fit and hot. It's like, yeah, they look a whole lot better than this chick. So people aren't outraged to have some very milquetoast mundane girl in a role of the hot chick. They just don't care. It's like Birds of Prey or Charlie's Angels. There's no interest in ugly people, and you know some of those get. You've got the public relations people bombing movies before the movie even comes out, and some of them are like, Birds of Prey wasn't that bad. It wouldn't have taken that much to fix it with the little maybe you want to focus on getting that male gaze so you can get some of those male butts in seats. The thing is, like, if we wanted ugly people, we'd look in the mirror, and maybe ordinary or you know is a better term than ugly, but whatever. And what makes it hysterical is this chick goes on Instagram to whine about it. To whine about people weren't happy with an ugly girl in the role. And not in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, you know. Be less ugly and people won't be mad? I understand she can't help her face or her A cups, but she could easily drop 10 pounds of fat. Like, she's one of those girls or people in general who are like, they're skinny fat. Yes, they only weigh 120 pounds, but the body fat percentage is too high for Hollywood. Hollywood is like, you think you're lean, and then you go sit down, have dinner with some Hollywood people, and you're like, holy cow, I'm a cow. All the Hollywood people, they push the food around their plate, and they drink their calories, and maybe have like half a chicken breast. It's like, oh, that's dinner. That's why they're lean. Anyway, so she doesn't even look like she's in shape for the role. She just looks average. She looks like a next-door mom who's okay and has a Volvo. And we don't want to see average people on screen. We want to see stunning and rare. Take a Lifetime movie. Yeah, Lifetime, television for idiots, mostly. All the guys are super lean and shredded. Now swap out that guy for like Dan Slott, who, if you don't know, he's like 400 pounds. And he looks like he might be inbred. And he probably has a nice set of D cups himself. So, you know, work with what you got. It's a culture war and you're in it. Just wash off the political correctness. Where we are now is because of political correctness. It's time to very seriously get rid of that. Tell people what you want. You want lean, blonde, blue-eyed girls. Or whatever you're into. Then get on social media and tell people. And when the soy kids attack, and they will, double down. Say German milkers are best milkers. Double down, step on the gas, accelerate it to destruction. Real blonde girls are rare and priceless. Black hair and dark eyes is common and mundane. Just post a picture of this chick, Daniela, whatever, and say gross. She's as commonplace as dirt. The commie kids will lose their freaking minds, which is awesome. I used to get commies so mad on Twitter that it was getting dangerous. They kept adding me to lists of like truly horrible people on Twitter and other groups that I can't even name on YouTube. But Twitter uses up way too much time, and it's fun being a troll. You get those neurotransmitters flowing, but it's like being the fastest snail. So what's the point? You might as well make a video if you're going to use it like, you know, an hour a day on social media. If you want bigger natural milkers on screen, demand them. There's no shortage of actors. They could have found pretty girls. There's pretty girls everywhere. They just chose this very common girl as part of their humiliation ritual. Then, when the customer demands an actor that's not a potato, they try to immediately shame the customer and call them perverts. Wanting sexy ass is not a perversion. And how is the proud slut walk whores going to lecture anyone on perversion? They're whores. Why do we care what sluts think? They have diseases and a lifetime of being a single mom ahead of them. Here's the thing with the show. It sort of doesn't matter. It's not going to lose or gain many subs for Netflix. It's just filler, woke, normie content. Streaming shows, it turns out, needs a lot of filler, even if it's really lame. Which, you know, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen Batwoman. I don't think that's a streaming show, but you get the idea. It's like just the bottom, or something like Vagrant Queen, Batwoman. Just call them sexist racists if they disagree with you, because you identify as marginalized and oppressed woman of color with systemic colors, and that ugly women in these roles is literally a hate crime. The show isn't designed to be watched. It's just kind of designed to fill the roster so Netflix can say they have it, so when they show an advertisement, they have this big wall, you know, a figurative wall of movies behind them. Back in my day, we rented VHS tapes, and we were glad to have it. We were so excited to have VHS tapes. Film has taken a huge decrease in quality because of the rise in streaming. They're not making movies so much as they're just making content. The movies aren't so much made to stand on their own as much as they used to. There's some A-game shows out there that try to stand on their own. But this type of show is strictly background fluffer material. Nobody is looking at the production pictures of those three ugly people they showed, and they think that the show is going to be anything other than total dog shit. Hey, my sexual identity is that I am only attracted to pretty girls, no potatoes. Don't judge me. My gender is C-cup, bitches, or better. Critics are going to love this kind of stuff like they love Birds of Prey, Charlie's Angels, Terminator, Ocean's 8, and the rest of just absolute crap. The theme of avoiding the male gaze and male customer is not going away, because now social media will pressure them if they use sexy women again. I mean, any one of those movies made before about 2016, all that pre-2016, at least 2020, pre-2020 riots, all those films prior, like even the original, not the original Charlie's Angels, but the remake with those three chicks in the 90s, try to go back and watch a few minutes of one of those movies. Or Something About Mary with the same girl, I can't remember, Cameron Diaz, Something About Mary. Try to watch that movie, a very good comedy. There's just little bits in it. They go, oh, gonna have to edit that out. And the next thing you know, it's like you're left with white rice. There's just nothing to it. It's just like, oh, okay, it's something to go on in the background. My point is that I hope they stick with using dumpy, ugly women, because those movies tank. And it's weird now that I think about it. It's like they're using more and more mundane women. They're a little bit more and more out of shape, a little bit softer. The body fat percentage slowly creeps up. But then you look at the dudes and you're like, these dudes haven't touched a carb in, a decade, and they're like 12% body fat or whatever. Like they're shredded. And you look at the chicks and you're like, yeah, this guy wouldn't be with this chick. It doesn't make sense. The feminists who write these articles, this girl writes this article, she's ugly and misandrist. She mentions all these new feminist films as a sign that Hollywood is changing, except the films she mentioned all bombed. She says we're starting to see change. This is about more than female characters' outfits. It's about humanizing women. They're women. They're not, yes, they're human. They're human women. I'm sorry, don't let me get in the way of your straw man. And treating them as more than sexual amusement for male audiences. They're more than sexual. If they wanted sexual amusement for male audiences, they just watch adult content. There's multifacets to a film, and one of those facets is humans are sexual. That's what they are. Everything feminist comes up with, and all these movies she was talking about, like I said, they're like, oh yeah, we want to see more Birds of Prey. or Charlie's Angels was made for like $45 million and it made $8 million opening weekend. You can't make too many of those movies because those are, it's like, okay, we're gonna lose $100 million to make some woke feminist propaganda. Hey feminists, why didn't the women go watch your movies? Oh, that's right, they didn't. And Elizabeth Banks was coming out and she was blaming the male audience. It's like, well, what about the women? Never mentioned it. Everything a feminist comes up with is a straw man, or portraying male and male sexuality as a negative. That she doesn't understand male sexuality. I don't think she understands sexuality in general because she's a raging sexist. And like someone who's got a chip on their shoulder, this much is you're in a very tight echo chamber preaching to the choir. Some of the folks on the left are deep thinkers, but this Chan girl is not one of them. She kind of has her, she's just repeating globalist talking points where you state the conclusion and then you kind of circle back to the conclusion. You never stop to prevent evidence and maybe analyze the evidence and then argue counterpoints. They always say if you don't know your opponent's argument, you don't know your own. And the bigger real-world issue here is that movies have to make money. That never seems to click with them, that they're in a commercial endeavor. People have to want to pay to see your stuff. And, getting money from people, turns out, is actually really difficult. And obviously, you don't need to be a beautiful German girl in every role, but, it triggers them, which is why I like to use the Germans as an example, because it just drives them absolutely batty. But you got to be right for the role. And I couldn't play these roles either because, I look like what I look like, just a potato person my own self. And you can't have, short, dumpy, common-looking girls in the role of these hot chicks where you need a beautiful girl, that the beautiful chick is required. And she goes, oh, there's no woman looks like this. It's like, yeah, there are women with natural C and D cups who are pretty lean, who do look like that. Maybe the bigger the boobs, you're getting a little bit less lean, but you could find a C cup girl, natural C cup girl, who's very lean. Yes, they exist, and you deliberately, in fact, in Hollywood, they're all over the freaking place, but they chose to ignore them. Or just a conventionally attractive girl, jawline, cheekbones, even if she was a little leaner. As long as she has that beautiful face, the model face, like the Greek model face. What you got here is a just short, dumpy girl who looks like she'd be, I don't know, serving you fast food or something. I almost said tacos, but that would have been racist, so I didn't say it. The bigger issue is to give them pushback. Say you want to see more Swedish, German, Polish, French girls. Don't let them lump you all into white. Just say, oh, no, they're not white. They're Swedish or German. They don't identify. I don't identify. I am what I am. Don't let them lump you all together. That's a Bolshevik trick. Just outright say you want pretty, real English girls with nice titties. The market obviously fudging agrees with you. Pretty blonde girls get eyeballs and they get butts and seats. Woke potato girls, they don't get a whole lot of attention for good reason. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, join the channel, and you'll get a shiny wrench in the live streams. And support me on Coffee, and I'm trying to get a subscribe star thing going. It's like it's taking longer than it should have. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next episode.